Sony just isn't stopping when it comes to new camera releases this year. This is one that I'm really excited to show you because right now, this is the world's smallest, lightest full-frame camera body with interchangeable lenses and this new color option. Silver. This is the all-new Sony A7C compact camera. This is actually an entirely new category for Sony, is the compact camera line. Now, this camera is full frame. Starting price is $17.99 for the body and $20.99 with an all-new 20 to 60 millimeter f4 zoom lens. They're also coming out with some new smaller compact lenses to go with this. Because this is so light, you wanna have a nice light lens to go with it. I know that it's incredibly overwhelming the amount of cameras out there, especially just in the Sony family, but when creators start looking for that real first mirrorless camera to upgrade to, I'm so excited that this is now an option. What's the lowest cost I can get for a camera without sacrificing too many features is a question that I get so often, and I'm always on the hunt for that answer. I used to make a ton of travel content, and the camera that I would mostly use was the Sony A6500, but this would have been the camera that I would have gravitated towards if this was out back then. Now, I know that the new Sony A7S is coming out very soon, and that will be my main camera of choice, but that camera is very expensive, and it is a higher end production camera, and it's not for everyone. We almost always have a second camera on shoots, and because this is so light, this is going to be perfect to put on a Ronin, or to use on our sliders, or even just use as a second off-camera angle, like this. Let's also just come back to the fact that this is a full frame camera. A lot of the previous mirrorless cost-efficient cameras have the smaller APS-C sensor. So this will let you use full frame lenses, and this will significantly improve your photo or video quality, especially when shooting in low light. And have I showed you this? It's got the flip out screen. This is something that is going to make everyone's lives so much easier. This was the one deciding factor of why a lot of people ended up not getting a Sony camera, is because when you are vlogging and filming yourself, being able to have that flip out screen is amazing. Now, they tried to compensate for that by the 6400 having a flip up screen. But when you have a camera that has interchangeable lenses and a hot shoe for audio, you're gonna wanna put a microphone on this. And when you put a microphone on this with a flip up screen, just take a guess what happened. Spoiler alert, you couldn't see the screen. Thankfully, a lot of these cameras do have really good onboard audio, so it wasn't always necessary to have. When that A7S III with flip out screen was announced, that's it, it's a game changer. Now the size comparison is what I really wanna show you guys. This is the Sony A7 III. This is what I pretty much use right now for shooting everything. In between there is the smaller sensor, the Sony A6400. So here they all are side by side, and the biggest thing about this is the fact that this is a new compact form factor as opposed to A7 III. So the A7S III is a little more like this form factor. It is heavier. So they've also moved the lens piece over here to the left, so it does mimic more of the A6400 and more in this alpha line. This just feels so huge at this point. I mean, you guys can see the size difference in the sensor here. I also really like the new body that they have for this compact camera. This silver kind of reminds me more of like a vintage camera, but it just looks slick, it looks updated. This looks like a real 2020. Well, don't say it looks like 2020, but I'm just saying like a camera of the time, like an updated look. A nice, new, modern feel. It almost kind of looks like a carbon fiber finish. This does also come in a black version as well, but I really do like the silver. I think a lot of people are gonna be into that. Do you like the silver?
Yeah.
Tyler's into it. It's cool.
You know why?
Because it looks like an old film camera, right? Jenna is FaceTiming me. Oh my God, is it an emergency? There's gotta be an emergency. Hello?
What are we gonna do about the podcast?
What's wrong?
Too live.
What?
Have you seen this before?
Oh my God. Yeah, it's nice. I used it. It's crispy. What do you think of where the menu button is located?
Oh, menu button? That was a really great chat. I like that they moved the menu button right here to the center. Like if you can't find the menu button, you're definitely not looking hard enough. Oh, menu button? So we have a headphone jack, we have USB-C, micro HDMI, SD card slot, and a microphone input. The A7S III does have an all-new updated menu system. This one does not, unfortunately, because that menu system is really, really cool. Someone is cutting grass. Here's where the battery goes, and boy am I excited that they decided to cut the grass right now. So this will shoot 4K 30 and 24, and in 1080 you can do 24, 30, 60, and 120. This also has S&Q, which we use a lot, especially for doing time lapses or slow motion videos. It'll automatically transform them into a video, so you don't have to be messing with a bunch of photos to create a time lapse. It will do it all automatically for you in camera. So this is the old battery and this is the new one. This is the Z series, and this thing is so much better than these older, smaller ones. We would go through so many batteries during a day that I probably have 45 of these. Crazy. The good thing though is at some point during my A7S2 shooting days, I got one of the AC adapters, and that's been amazing. But now with this and some of the newer cameras like the A7 III that we're using and the new A7S III, you can actually power those through USB-C, and that is just, I mean, incredible.
Smiling distant strangers winking on my feet. Then I see the moonlight sparkling in your eyes. Oh, my body's frozen and my soul's on fire. Just follow me, baby. Pulling at me with a foxy move. Gently come over.
It does have real-time autofocus tracking, real-time eye autofocus, and animal autofocus, which, you know, we definitely use that quite often with Maddie. So we're now out here in Santa Monica taking some photos and videos. This is where I always come to do our test shoots because it's usually a really nice view, but the air quality basically in all of the West Coast is pretty terrible, today included. So my favorite thing though is the built-in hot shoe. This is the XLR setup that we use in almost every single video. We use the Sennheiser AVX wireless microphones, so I'm wearing one right now. Right here. Hello. And this is going right into the Sony A7 III that we're filming with. This is the setup that we use for pretty much every video that we shoot when we're out and about or sitting here at the desk. I love having a wireless mic on, and we usually just use the shotgun for backup. Now, if you don't go the wireless lav route, making sure you have a great shotgun mic is very important. There are lots of options out there, like some of these. When it comes to getting external microphones, that's also incredibly overwhelming. These are the two that are my go-tos when I'm shooting with Sony cameras. This little guy is the ECM XYST1M. There's gonna be a quiz later, so make sure you remember that. This is the one that I've been using pretty much the longest. It's great because it's super small. It does have a little shock mount, so if you are vlogging and moving it around a lot, pretty stable. The one thing that I just noticed as I was shaking this around, the A7S III has these added little sound dampening technology. I don't know, I think it just made these a little bit more stiff, but you can't hear them on the camera. Whereas this, they don't have that. So normally what I do is I either take these off or I will tape them so that you don't hear that rattling around in the body when you're filming. But this little microphone is great. You can do stereo, you can move those around depending upon what you're doing. Whereas this one is the, what kind of crazy name did they give you? The ECM B1M. Now this microphone I really like. This one is a little bit more advanced and it's also way more expensive. So if you are looking to cut costs, definitely recommend this one. Do we remember what that one was called? No, I've only been using it for 6 years. Yeah, look at that. Hey guys, what's going on? This is a vlog, Jenna.
I'm trying to get the cheese.
We're sitting outside on the street having a meal because that's what you do now here in 2020. You can't go inside restaurants, but you can sit outside on the really clean street where people used to park.
I thought you were gonna say something else.
Well, they also do that as well, but I don't know. I am loving this camera though.
It's pretty great.
Pretty nice. We were talking to our friend Farouk, and he said that this is kind of like the Sony A7 III, but in the A6500 body. Could not be more correct.
Yeah, actually.
Boy, is it quiet out here. I'm having a relaxing time having my meal. Oh, ow. My biggest complaint with some of the smaller cameras from Sony in the past were the smaller batteries that they used. You'd have to carry around so many of these extras just to make it through the day or a shoot. This one, though, uses the new updated Z batteries, which will give you up to 140 minutes of movie recording or 740 images, which is great news because this also doesn't have a recording limit for video. There's a new f4 28 to 60mm that I'm really excited to try out. Sadly, I don't have it with me here yet. Normally for vlogging, you want a really wide angle, and since this is starting at 28, that's not very wide, but I do think this will give you a nice range for most situations if you're only heading out with one lens. But it's also nice because if you do put it on a tripod, you will get that extra depth with this lens. And of course, it has a flip out screen, so you'll be able to see yourself and you'll be able to make sure you're in frame. So obviously we can use any other full frame lenses that we have. And we have been shooting with Sony quite a while, so guess what? We've got plenty of lenses to use. So,
No.
what? No, what? Oh my God, I just want you to know that I actually, for a second, forgot that there was a flip out screen. Because I'm so used to when I grab a Sony camera that this is not. The amount of years that we vlogged with a Sony mirrorless camera and was just kind of crossing our fingers, hoping that we were in frame, countless. You guys just don't know how good you have it now, you vloggers of today. We were in struggle city back then. I'm just in the shot. I can zoom out. We can see Tyler in the shot. Like this is, I wanna go on another road trip and make a fun video.
Can't go anywhere on the West Coast. We gotta go inward.
Where do we go?
Arizona? Utah?
I would go to either. Where should we go, guys? Where is safe? We will be wearing our masks.
I keep getting pushed Wyoming a lot. I've never been.
That's where Mike Posner is right now.
Wyoming. Let's ask him how it is.
I see it on his Instagram. So the sun's starting to go down. Should we get a time lapse? S and Q, 1 frame a second? Sure, all right. I'm not gonna say that this is the best scenery that we've ever time-lapsed, but at least we'll get to see a cool demo and see how it works.
It's probably not the best time lapse that we're ever gonna do, but at least we get to see how it looks.
Did you just say what I said? Thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to seeing what you all think about this camera and the fact that Sony is creating an entirely new compact category. If you guys are new here, be sure to subscribe, hit the bell so you'll be notified when I post new videos. I have tons of them coming up, so be on the lookout. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. You were in S&Q.
You handed it to me.
Yeah, I know. It's weird that you didn't change it.
It's weird that I didn't change it. I don't remember how to make a video.